Ian Eagle, or Ian Eigel. He is the play-by-play voice for the national title game, and he joins us now. What did you think of the Chainsmokers?
What an opening question. Do I stay in my lane or do I just give you my genuine thoughts? The shocker for me in all of it, Bill Raftery was in the mosh pit. Couldn't believe it. Where's Bill?
I didn't see that.
You're smoking my chain, Dan.
But you knew the Chainsmokers were going to be performing. You had to be ready for that moment, correct?
The crazy part, this is not shocking considering just the timing of everything. We have a green room in between games. So I go to the green room, you freshen up, you grab a slider, it's a little bit of food, have a bite, move on. I now walk out of the green room and the area in which to get back to our seats is roped off. And I know I have to get back there because we have to do our stuff immediately after the Chainsmokers. So I get around the roped off area and I start walking and someone is freaking out, running towards me. And I look up and the Chainsmokers are standing there with a camera facing them. I was this close to being the third Chainsmoker walking out onto the floor. I was so discombobulated and disoriented, and man, that would have been a career highlight.
Well, you already had it. You had the call in the UConn game.
Yeah.
Have you had anything that compared to that moment?
Yeah, that was wild. I think the fact that it was such a frenzy makes it different than a normal buzzer beater or last second clutch shot, because when they're triggering the inbound, you just assume foul game. It's going to be 2 or 3 more possessions. And for it to turn as quickly as it did, and for Mullins, for it to end up in his hands, to get it done, to advance to Indianapolis in his hometown, to come back from 19 down, to do it against Duke, to have Raf and Grant in a state of shock next to me. I know that seemed to get a lot of attention the next day. And that's cool that you get this behind-the-scenes look. Grant said it might be the first time in his life that he's a meme. And Raf said, "What's a meme?" He had no idea. Yeah.
But are you watching the monitor or the game in a moment like that?
I was watching the game. And then what I tend to do is the second the play ends, I go to the monitor to try to match whatever pictures are being shown. So that's just muscle memory. And I was lifted out of my chair when the ball went in. Grant, if you look very closely, because the way the camera was set up, a ball hit the camera late in the second half and shifted it over. So it made it a 2-shot, which is normally a 3-shot with all 3 of us in there. So I was right on the periphery. As the steal takes place, Grant digs his arm into my rib cage and I think unknowingly lifted me a bit. And as it all developed, I went up and made the call and then sat back down. And it really is one of those slow motion type of situations where you're processing in real time that this is going to go down as an all-timer. But here's the crazy thing. We were talking about this, Dan. There have been buzzer beaters and incredible ones prior to the championship round. I think they're only really remembered, truly remembered in history and to live on forever if you win the title. They're highlights and they're moments, and he'll always be remembered in stores, remembered in his home state. But to resonate and get to that other level, I think you got to win it. And then that thing just lives on in perpetuity.
Ian Eagle will be on the call with Grant Hill, Bill Raftery, Tracy Wolfson, and tip-off is 8:50 Eastern.
Yep.
When did it change from 9:20 to 8:50?
This is college basketball history that I can't answer. I'd like to phone a friend, Dan, on that. When did it change?
Okay.
Dan needs to know. Okay, yeah, get on it. few years ago.
Okay. Thank you. Great research staff there that you have.
Thank you. Thank you. I just have them on call.
Calling a game in a dome or in a arena or at a school, university, biggest difference?
Huge. Sight lines, completely different. You're not at your normal level of watching the game, so the action is actually above you. And certain things that you just know based on where your eyes go from doing game after game after game, you've got to retrain your brain in the first 5 minutes. Sight lines in the corners, I can tell you, and it'll probably happen again, anything in the far corners, I can't tell if it's a three-pointer or not. I have to wait, I have to pause, I have to be patient and not commit. Normally, you know right away. So that it's a little disconcerting because it's the biggest game of the year and you can't go through the normal mode of your brain. And then everything is far away. The fans are far away. You can't see the fans' faces. Normally in college basketball setup, they're really close. Regular NBA arenas, they're close enough. So everything's just a little bit detached. And it feels like it's on a bit of a 1 second delay. I can't hear the crowd burst through like I would in an intimate setting. You know, there were 70,000 plus people there, and it's cavernous. And I do think it's real. I know we say it every year. I do think they have a problem, the players do, in the first few minutes of getting adjusted, making shots, feeling comfortable, getting acclimated, but it's the same for both teams, and it's part of the deal. It's the biggest stage possible in college basketball, and it's obviously working.
How much will you hear Danny Hurley tonight?
Zero. We are so far away, it is impossible to hear what's happening on the other side of the court. So, interesting. NBA, local broadcast, you are normally, they've changed this a bit, but in the good old days, you were courtside on the benches side.
Yeah.
National, you were on the other side, which was an adjustment for me that first couple of years of doing it, because there were things you would pick up, small little nuances, facial expressions, body language between coach, player, between coach, official, that you just don't see on the other side. And now, obviously, with this broadcast setup, you are on the other side. There's also a roving camera that looks like one of those robots that would deliver your food for DoorDash, which I don't know if you've had that yet. I had a game in Dallas this year, and I ended up ordering out, and then they inform you that the robot is coming to deliver your food. So I go downstairs to meet the robot, and I see it from 2 blocks away. And now I'm concerned for the robot because I don't know how he's going to negotiate the sidewalk. And I think now, should I go meet him? Do I wait? Do I stop and get there a little earlier and knock on the door? I don't know what to do. So finally it comes up, and 2 people that just happen to be walking by as I'm now perfunctoring with my phone, they're like, "What's going on here?" It's a delivery robot, and I hit the button on my phone, and it opens the hatch.
Yeah.
And it was as if I was walking on the moon. They were astounded at what took place, and ta-da! My chicken sandwich rises up. So that's also happening. It's going back and forth in front of me during game action, and you could hear shush, 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 shush. That I hear. I won't hear Dan Hurley.
The Michigan story, what Dusty May has done, and this run, they're blowing people out. People were, ranting and raving that Arizona, Michigan should be for the national title.
Yes,
well,
I heard that.
I don't know if Dusty May will get the credit he probably deserves.
Yep.
The turnaround at Michigan, now what they've done in the tournament and blowing people out, and of course you got to win this, but how do you encapsulate what he's done at Michigan?
Well, I think his ability to build the program so quickly, to identify talent, to figure out which pieces would work together. Look, there's a financial aspect to this. You can't ignore it. It's there, but they've done it correctly. They've really had an architect in Dusty May that knew what to do and how to do it quickly. And that is one thing now in the way the college basketball is set up for these major programs because of the money. If you evaluate talent well, identify it, and then develop it in one season, you can be right here playing for a championship. There are other teams that have the same money, if not more money, and they identified the wrong talent, or they didn't evaluate correctly, or they didn't develop correctly, and they're not here. So credit has to be given to Dusty May. Basically now, as a head coach, in my mind, in college basketball, you are a GM, you are a scout, you are a coach, you are a dad, you are a teacher, you are a mentor. You're all of those things rolled into one. And when ADs are looking for someone to be the face of their program, they have to take that into account. You have to check a lot of boxes, but what he's done here is really incredible. And you're right, they won 8 games. 2 seasons ago, they won 8 games, and now they're playing for a chip.
College athletics, if we look at NIL and transfer portal,
yep.
I think this has been a great year for college athletics.
I agree.
Maybe that's not a popular opinion, but, you know, you have Indiana winning the football championship.
Yep.
You get transfers. Now, I would like for them to sign contracts.
Yep.
Have it a little more uniformity here. But,
yep.
The NIL transfer portal, the president with an executive order
yep.
kind of wants to limit this stuff. But I think if you sign a contract, you want to transfer, why can't there be a buyout to that? Make
yep.
it transactional. Everything's above board.
Yeah, it is transactional right now. It does feel that way. I do agree that it's been a banner year. You're getting highly competitive games. You're getting a deeper pool of talent because players are staying longer based on the fact that they can make money and they don't just take their chances to go to the NBA and start the clock. That's a term I heard quite a bit for a number of years for players that were certainly going to be NBA stars. If you're Cooper Flagg, yes, you're going to the pros. You're starting the clock for your next contract. It makes perfect sense from a financial standpoint. But for someone that was a borderline first-round pick or a second-round pick, I don't know if the logic was there for that same approach. Now you stay, you develop your skills, you maybe have a shining moment or two in your college career, you get paid for it, and maybe, just maybe, you come out on the other side a better player. Yaxel Lendeborg is a more complete player now than he would have been a year ago if he came out of UAB right to the NBA. And instead, he gets this incredible experience, and maybe he caps it off with a championship. Look, it's not perfect. I recognize that. I think a lot of us, though, jumped the gun and thought, man, this is going to be rough. Yeah. This is going to be a really chaotic time in college athletics. It's worked out from a competitive point of view. And yes, I'm saying this, I recognize that the mid-major is still left out a bit, but the reality was the mid-majors were outliers in this to begin with. Now, at the very least, you hope that you're getting a higher quality of play when you get to the biggest stages of the season.
Well, I look at Braylon Mullins, and he's going to be, projected to be a first-round draft pick.
Yep.
Now, he's not ready, but teams are going to say, hey, we'll take him and let him develop for 2 years.
Yep.
And like Reed Shepherd with Houston.
Yes.
Took him high, and then we're like, all right, we'll bring him along. Now, all of a sudden, you see, Reed with some highlights there. And that might be the case for Braylon Mullins. That do I stay and make a little bit of money, or do I go and get started on that first contract in the NBA? Yes. And it feels like you're either ready to go, you jump in, or maybe you're not even ready to go, but you go because you're going to be a long-time NBA player, or you stay because you might not be that long-term player.
Yeah, there was a stretch of time, Dan, obviously working both in college hoops and NBA. I was privy to a lot of conversations and got to ask questions to people that do this for a living, that evaluate talent and make these decisions that teams have to live by when you use a first-round pick. Those are serious pieces of valuable merchandise because you're trying to change the whole culture of your team. There were players that I look back on, and it's just how it is. They stayed in college because they thought they were doing the right thing. They may have been a first-round draft pick after their freshman or sophomore year. It was not a guarantee. And because they stayed their junior and senior year before they were getting paid, their flaws came out. And they dropped in the draft because it actually gave scouts more time to see some of the faults that they had. So there's no right answer here. I've never, ever said emphatically to any kid that has to make a decision to come out and be available for the draft, hey, that's a bad call on your part. I don't know their financial situation. Yeah. I don't know their family situation. I just have never been in that corner that it does occur where people have very strong opinions about it. You got to do what's best for you. I just think now there are at least some options for kids out there to make a more prudent decision.
By the way, I'm going to give you credit if you're watching on Peacock or NBC Sports Network. You did give almost a presidential backdrop. I mean, great lighting here.
Yeah, Dan, I didn't want to tell you, but I am in a vestibule of a Vegas hotel. I flew there last night to do the interview, and then I board in 15 minutes. So we'll be fine. But I just wanted to make sure the backdrop looked good. I'm a big earth tones guy.
I like it. Yeah, very, very much. Very, very, very earthy. Yes, you are.
Yeah. Thanks.
All right, we're counting on you tonight.
Thanks. I'm going to go through my normal routine, game day, and have some Nutter Butters and watch some Maury Povich.
You are the father.
You are not the father. Every time. It gets me every time. The intrigue. It's like March Madness. It's so unpredictable.
Save your voice. Save your voice, okay? Thank you, Ian.
See you, Dan.
That's Ian Eagle. They started 8:50 tonight. He doesn't know why or when they started it. I thought it used to be 9:20 for a while. But Tracy Wolfson, Bill Raftery, and Grant Hill.